10 cars your grandma drove and are still awesome today. Your grandma may have had one of these cars, but that is no reason to count them out. These cars are still very cool even today. When grandma's car comes to mind, one often thinks of something that is dim, restricted, and secure. The car that gets the job done, and it's about it only. They may have some features of luxury, but the style is exciting, as fun as a Tuesday night bingo club. Cars like Buick Regal, the Mercury Grand Marquis, and the latest generation Cadillac Eldorado are notable examples of ubiquitous cars with great senior drivers. But not all the cars your grandmother drove were boring. There are quite a few examples of so-called old cars that can catch up with us today. Following are 10 examples, 3 of which are being developed with all the new technology that kids are fascinated by these days. But before getting into the video, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss an upload from us. Number 10. The Royal Crown. We'll start this list with a car owned by one of the most popular seniors in recent popular culture. That's the Imperial Crown, one of which belonged to Richard the Old Man Harrison of the TV show Pawn Stars. He had a 1966 model. His son and grandson restored it for their 50th wedding anniversary. According to legend, it took Harrison almost 15 years to convince its former owner to sell it to him, and for good reason. Imperial was Chrysler's luxury badge in the mid-60s, and Crown was positioned as the cream of the crop among Brad's pecking order. Number 9. Oldsmobile Cutlass. While the Oldsmobile may be dead, its memory remains for drivers who once hailed it as the luxury of first-class entry. While the later generations of Cutlass were almost as familiar and boring as they were, when it came out in the 60s, it was one of the hottest places on the market. Old Cutlass still looks good because of its wide body, sharp angles, and powerful V8, which proves that Grandma was really capable of blasting the driver's socks. Number 8. Saab 99. Maybe your grandmother was more progressive, or a young woman who longed for something different. If so, she may have thought of the Saab 99. The car was one of the first success stories for the Swedish macaques. The later 99 generations have been held to a high standard, thanks to the Turbo Scarf, which has upgraded the humble 2-liter engine to 145 HP. It may not sound like much in today's numbers, but back then, it was a spectacular protest in the world of small cars. Number 7. Toyota Avalon. First introduced in the 90s, the Avalon was Toyota's attempt to use American love for big sedans. Meanwhile, the car has gained a reputation as a favorite among the 50-plus demographic. Especially since its reserved appearance and feel, it appeals to those looking for something that will not stand out more. But that doesn't mean there is nothing here for young drivers. The latest Avalons packs a punch with a V6 engine, a wealth of standard luxury features, and a hybrid option. It is also regularly named for the most comfortable cars on the road today, and starts under several Lexus models at the entry level. Number 6. Buick Skylark. One of Buick's longest-running models, Skylark, went to the driver's heart in the 1950s and never looked back. A smooth sedan with a large V8 nailhead engine, the Skylark is an example of a textbook mid-century American automotive engine. While Buick later softened the picture of Skylark as the years went on, the older models are still fondly remembered by those who drove them. If your grandma had one of these, she would no doubt have been envious of the suburbs. Number 5. Cadillac DeVille DTS. A historic car in Cadillac's list, DeVille was also converted to DTS, DeVille Touring Sedan, in 2006. A car that was still in production in late 2011. There are many DTS out there in good condition, waiting for the young driver to take it for a spin. While the car may not have straight lines and bright details for the new Cadillacs, the DTS is still going back to the big, older V8 cars. It is a formal ride, and with so many used items in good condition, it is possible to have such a ride without breaking the bank. Number 5. Lincoln Towncar. Speaking of old luxury, the Lincoln Towncar is one of the best throws in a forgotten time in the history of cars. According to the body of the Ford Crown Victoria, the Towncar became a popular car by the chauffeur service. At one point in the past, it would have been impossible to travel to any part of the city without seeing a large number of these vehicles approaching. And for good reason, because it was not only the body shape that was easily adjusted, but the timeless look of the Towncar made it one of the best wheels on American roads. Ironically, the Towncar was disconnected in 2011, the same year we last entered with its main rival. Number 3. Oldsmobile 88. Probably one of the largest cars that Oldsmobile ever produced, the 88 had one hell of a ride for 50 years of its life. It was at the forefront of the luxury market at the entry level in its many functions, offering benefits similar to those of a premium car, but at a price that is very commensurate with the average consumer. It was big, bulky, and it went with a dry V8, but that was all a lot of people wanted to get out of their sedans back when it was released. Number 2. Lincoln Continental. America's premier luxury sedan for much of its lifetime, the Continental is a seminal car in Lincoln's lineup. When revived in the 2017 model year, the car was best known for its race between the 60s and 70s, where it was popular among American officials. Maybe, if your grandmother was born into the right family, she also had a Continental in her garage. That is, let's be honest, maybe she had several cars in it if she had these bad ones. The current generation Continental is one of the most luxurious American cars on the market today, though time will tell whether this one will live up to its descendants as its ancestors. Number 1. Chevy Impala. Impala is one of the most popular cars on GM's list, so it is possible that many grandparents use them to block their children and grandchildren. While it has existed since the 50s, models released in the late 60s and early 70s are often highly regarded by car enthusiasts. These are the first models to be lovingly restored with gearheads of all ages, showing how good they were with the basic cars at the time. And for many generations of models to choose from, this American icon will be associated with grandparents for years to come. Let us know in the comments down below which one you liked. With that said, it brings us to the end of today's video. Thanks for watching.